Good day everyone, we are the group 6 and we are about to discuss about the topic pattern nature, the stripes. All of us know that when we hear the word stripe, it is all about the lines and colors, and stripes are everywhere. Learning objectives. At the end of this chapter, students should be able to understand the meaning of a stripe, discuss the characteristics and properties of a stripe, identify the use of stripes in the application to our society like pedestrian, lane, and signage.
Pattern. A pattern is the repeated or regular way in which something happens or is done. A pattern exists when a set of numbers, colors, shapes, or sounds are repeated over and over again. There are two basic types of pattern. The first one are natural. They are patterns formed in the natural world. Number two is the man-made. They are patterns formed by creating decorative designs. As mentioned, pattern is created by repeating the elements of art in nature and within an artwork. The following are examples of natural pattern and man-made pattern. Letter A. Natural patterns. Based on the first picture, there is an example of cracks in farmland that may be caused by El Nino. The second example of natural pattern is the shell of a snail, which has a spiral pattern. Letter B. Example of man-made pattern from the first picture is a ribbon, whose pattern is a stripe. In order to create its pattern, they stitch it. The second example of man-made pattern is the stair, whose pattern is on a spiral.
Stripes. A long narrow band or strip, typically of the same width throughout its length, differing in color or texture from the surface on either side of it.
Characteristic of stripes. First, stripes are pretty much parallel to one another and equally paced. The stripe pattern is evolutionary in that it increases chances of survival through camouflage. For example, a tiger stripe camouflage it was while hunting in a forest or grassland, making it easier to surprise and catch its prey. Narrow, evenly paced stripes tend to create the impression of a solid color.
The properties of a stripe has colors and width. But before we go along the discussion, we will discuss first what is color. So, color is defined as a convenient and compact way to represent colors, is with characters. In this case, colors is not only to portray, but also colors help us to represent a sense of direction and recognition that people can identify and relate to. The second one is the width or stripe width. In some sites or dictionaries, width is defined as the measurement or extent of something from side to side. The importance of the width is to balance its replication of a stripe so that the pattern would be well arranged. Another property of a stripe is their orientation, whether it is vertical, diagonal, or horizontal. The figure shown on the screen is the explanation on how a stripe can be formed. And in order to produce a stripe, the width and the length must be the same. Also, to repeat properly. The angles should also be followed, such as vertical must be 90 degrees, the diagonal must be 45 degrees, and the horizontal must be 0 degrees.
Examples of stripes. As you can see in this photo, there are two different pictures, the slow down school zone and the watch your step signage. In this photo, you can see a diagonal type of stripes, and they were both have the same two colors, which is black and yellow.
As you can see in this photo, a horizontal type of stripe that was taken at KSU campus that is symmetrically patterned, which means that the width of the stripe pattern is equally balanced. Some of you might still be confused as to what a stripe is. Well, to put it simply, a stripe is a series of parallel lines that do not cross each other.
As what our group mate explained earlier, the pattern stripe has two basic types, such as the natural and man-made. Here on the screen, there are two pictures that were indicated that classified as the man-made. The first one is the beautiful stripe patterned suede t-shirt, while the second one is the pedestrian crosswalk, wherein it allows people to walk across and to avoid accident. Stripe pattern not only for an art, but it can also use in any field to grab our attention to stay away from any harm such as the use of signages.
Horizontal stripes. Horizontal stripes were a sign of inferiority, as in striped jersey, whereby sailors being a symbol of their subordination to the captain, with the exception of beachwear inspired by sailing apparel, they were worn by the common class.
The first picture is a pole with a spiral stripe, and the second picture is a vertical stripe. And the colors are black and yellow. The black and yellow stripes can be seen in the roads, and it acts as a safety warning. That's all. Thank you.